May 16th, 1876, the day before my birthday. I remember that date because it was the last day I ever felt normal. My parents had left nearly a week earlier to visit relatives. They came from a deeply religious family and often attended church gatherings in neighboring towns. Before leaving, my mother made me promise to pray every night. I never did. The morning was uneventful. I ate breakfast, swept the house, and spent most of the afternoon sitting in the living room reading beside the window. The grandfather clock ticked in the corner. Tick, tick, tick. The ceiling fan spun lazily overhead. Everything felt ordinary, until the house went silent. The clock stopped. The fan stopped. Even the birds outside stopped singing. Then the lights went out. The darkness was immediate. Back then, there were no flashlights waiting on a bedside table, no phones to call for help, just darkness. I remember sitting perfectly still in my chair, listening, waiting. Then the lights flickered back on, only for a second, but it was enough. At the end of the hallway stood a little girl. She couldn't have been older than 10. She wore a white dress stained with dirt. Long black hair covered most of her face, but I could still see her smile, a smile so wide it looked painful. Then the lights went out again. I froze. Every hair on my body stood up. A moment later, I heard footsteps running upstairs, fast, heavy, like someone sprinting from room to room. The lights returned. The hallway was empty. The footsteps stopped. I tried convincing myself I imagined it. Then the fan began spinning again. Slowly at first, then faster and faster and faster. The blades became a blur. The motor screamed so loudly I covered my ears. I grabbed the fan trying to stop it. It wouldn't stop. Then I heard a voice, a little girl's voice, soft at first, whispering my name. Samuel! I looked around the room. No one was there. Samuel! Louder this time. The voice was coming from upstairs. I backed away. Samuel! The voice was now screaming my name. I dropped to my knees and covered my ears. The fan roared. The lights flickered. The voice kept calling. I screamed. Then everything went black. When I opened my eyes, my parents were standing over me. I was still sitting in my chair. The clock was ticking. The fan was spinning normally. The lights were on. Everything looked exactly as it had before. I told them what happened, about the girl, about the voice, about the footsteps. They looked at each other with concern. Words spread quickly. Soon the entire town knew me as the boy who claimed to see demons. Over the following years, the girl appeared often in mirrors, at the end of hallways, outside windows late at night, always smiling, always watching. No one else ever saw her. In 1887, doctors began studying strange conditions of the mind. One doctor eventually gave a name to what I suffered from: schizophrenia. For the first time in my life, I had an explanation. The town stopped calling me possessed. They called me ill instead. Only one person remained by my side through all of it. My friend Jared. He never abandoned me. One rainy afternoon, Jared convinced me to visit a doctor in the city. He said perhaps they could finally help. I agreed. The building was old and nearly empty. Jared waited outside while I entered. The receptionist's desk sat abandoned. The hallways were silent. No voices, no footsteps, nothing. I slowly walked deeper into the building. Then I saw her, standing at the end of the hallway. The same white dress, the same tangled hair, the same smile, except this time she wasn't watching me. She was waiting. My legs felt weak. I wanted to run. Instead, I took a step forward, then another. She tilted her head and smiled even wider. Finally, she spoke. You found me. The hallway lights went dark. That was the last time anyone ever saw me. Jared waited outside for nearly 2 hours before reporting me missing. The doctor claimed no patient ever entered the building. No record of my visit exists. No trace of me was ever found. If you're reading this, then somehow these pages survived. And if they did, there's one thing I never told anyone. The little girl wasn't becoming clearer because I was getting worse. She was becoming clearer because she was getting closer.